Let's talk about anxiety, anxiety, anxiety. Duh. Is that the line from my hat? I'm recording, okay, honey? Anxiety. I feel like everybody kind of has a picture in their head of what anxiety is, but the fact is, unless you suffer from it, it's kind of hard to grasp the concept that anxiety can come in many different forms. It doesn't just look like the hyperventilating and rocking back and forth that you may think of, like they portray in movies a lot. But I feel like that's what comes to people's minds a lot when you say someone has anxiety. The fact is, anxiety doesn't always look like that. I feel like my anxiety and the way it manifests itself is a great example of how anxiety isn't always what you think it might be. So let me talk a little bit about what my anxiety looks like to the soundtrack of my kids screaming and arguing and fighting. Girls. One of the main physical symptoms, if you will, that I have of anxiety, torn cuticles. I don't know if it's really showing up on camera, but like the average person gets like hangnails, right? Oh, would you look at that? The door creaks open and who could it be? Any guesses, anyone? Any guesses? It is everyone's favorite obese bulldog, Stella Bella! Say hi! You just wanted to sleep, huh? Everyone gets hangnails, right? Stella here. But for me, I don't just get hangnails. I will pick at my skin, especially if I'm in a period of time where I'm feeling especially anxious, and I will pick and I will pick and I will create hangnails. Oh my gosh. So out of breath from picking up my fat dog. One of the biggest physical signs that I have of anxiety or how it manifests itself is how I pick. And I've done this since I was really, really young. I remember in 5th grade, I would do it so bad that it would just be torn up here and just bleeding. I tear up my cuticles a lot, or whatever this is, like the skin, especially on the edge of my thumbs. That's a favorite place. Whew. It was like a crisp 80 degrees this morning, and because I live in Utah, I was used to 90-degree weather, and I was like, it's a little brisk this morning. So when I got home from the gym and I showered, I was like, I'm gonna wear a sweatshirt. And that was great until I'm here trying to film and I'm just like overheating. Another thing that I can thank anxiety for is how extremely self-conscious I am. For the love of God! I'm gonna shut this door, okay? My self-consciousness has prevailed through many a year. It is so obnoxious. I am self-conscious about everything, and the self-consciousness shows in different ways. Like, for example, I could be walking down the street, and if there's lots of cars, I automatically assume that everyone's looking at me and negatively judging me. Wow, the way she walks is stupid. Wow, like are her legs hella short. Wow, she's really ugly. And I'm not kidding you, this isn't like humble time, this is literally my life. I automatically assume that people are thinking negative things about me. Everybody's disgusted with me. Everybody's annoyed with me. Everybody's mad because of me. But I literally always have a very negative dialogue going on in my head because I'm always so anxious that people do not like me. And even though I've kind of embraced this idea that who cares what people think, I'm gonna be who I wanna be, you either like me or you hate me, that still doesn't take away the anxiety part. For once, I'm thrilled that my camera stopped recording randomly because I was alerted to the fact that I had like a white strip here from I had been wearing my hat. So let's just put that hat back on. Get rid of that strip. Sometimes I end my sentences like with my voice going up, which makes no sense because then it makes you think like, is she gonna say more? But then I don't. So I'm sorry that I do that. It's actually, now that I said that, this was like further down on my list, but let's just jump into the fact that I apologize for everything. I say sorry all the time. Just an hour ago, I called my husband and the first thing I said is he said, hey, how's it going? And I said, hey, sorry, because I was apologizing for calling. Now, why is it that I apologize all the time and I'm always saying sorry? It's because of the anxiety and that I am extremely self-conscious. This self-consciousness manifests in many delightful ways. One of them is apologizing all the time because in my brain, I assume that everyone thinks negative things about me. You could be a stranger, you could be a friend, you could be a foe. I don't care. In my head, if you even like hint that you're upset, like we're texting and your text seems a little off, I'm gonna automatically assume that I did something or that I'm annoying you. I assume people are disgusted with me. If I'm sharing the gym and it's really packed like it was this morning, and it makes me so frustrated because it sets my anxiety off and there's not room, I feel like everyone's looking at me and it's just crowded and then people aren't watching their kids. There goes the ADHD. ADHD and anxiety are quite the pair. But you could be at the gym and if I notice that you're watching me work out, I'm automatically going to, by default, assume that you are noticing how stupid that I look. And I know that I look stupid because I feel stupid. And yes, I know that this isn't true. Like, I get that. But that's not anxiety logic. Anxiety logic is they're looking at you because you look stupid doing what you're doing. You're embarrassing yourself. Should probably stop. Why else would they be looking at you? But maybe they're noticing that my legs are way too short for my body because I'm all torso. The anxiety has me always assuming that people are thinking the negative about me. Now, this isn't everybody in every single situation, but overall you can just assume that I am assuming that you are thinking the worst thoughts about me if I see a peep in me from across the room. Now, I do have panic attacks. This has happened quite a few times in my life, but that's its own thing because even panic attacks are not always what people assume they are. Somebody could be having a panic attack right next to you and you may never know. That's because panic attacks aren't always sobbing and crying and hyperventilating. I have had panic attacks like that before, so bad that I was literally pulling hair out of my head. It's kind of embarrassing to talk about, but yes, panic attacks can get that bad. Most of my panic attacks, though, look nothing like that. The ones that I have most commonly, how to describe it? So it's kind of like a clenching in your stomach. Sometimes it can come on really quick like a wave of nausea. It feels kind of like nausea and you're all of a sudden like, I have to find an exit or I have to find a bathroom. For me, that's something too. I always need to know where a bathroom is or an exit is in every single building that I'm at. Places like movie theaters give my anxiety like, get it triggered because you're trapped in this big room with lots of people where if you get up, you're gonna like get in people's way and annoy them, and then you have to walk all the way down the stairs and everyone can watch you, and then you have to make it out all the way and then find like one of the 2 bathrooms that movie theaters have and hope that it's not super crowded. Like, so that's the thing for me. I always have to know where exits or bathrooms are. But panic attacks for me many times can be this feeling in my stomach where I'm like, just, it's hard to describe, but it can be just a nasty feeling in my stomach. Sometimes I just break out in like a cold sweat. Sometimes I will sit there and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, and this is something that you commonly hear with people who have panic attacks, I all of a sudden will feel like I'm dying. Or sometimes it's not that extreme. Sometimes I'll all of a sudden feel like I can't like get enough air, or I'm having trouble breathing. And sometimes it's literally just my heart will be beating around and skipping beats. Panic attacks aren't always something happens, it triggers you, you spiral into a panic attack. Oftentimes my panic attacks come when I'm perfectly chill. They hit me out of nowhere. I might be having a great day and they hit me out of nowhere. Another delightful thing that anxiety does for me is causes me to be a major overthinker. And again, when you pair that with the ADHD, oh, it's just the beautifulest of unions. Yes? Come here. Why did you come in? Did you just want me to see your beautiful crown? We'll fix that for you.
Hi.
Are you guys?
I had ice cream.
Yes, you had ice cream today. All right, you guys go. I'm almost done with my video.
Fix it for her.
Thank you, sweets. You're such a good big sister. Dun, 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 dun. My kids! Oh, whew. Heavens to Betsy. So when you have anxiety, overthinking can become a very big problem. I'm always overthinking situations. Like, let's take it back to when I was talking about a text and say you text a little different than you normally do, or I don't even know how you sound when you text, but I really overthink my texts, so you will know that I'm happy with you. I don't want anyone to get any mixed messages from my text messages. So when other people, like, you respond with an okay and a period, something that's stupid, or something where just, if I perceive that you sound upset, I am automatically going to start overthinking about that. So not only am I then blaming myself, like, oh shoot, what did I say? Did I say something that upset them? They're mad at me. But then I am also going to like take that and like think of why and like what I did like today, yesterday, last week, last year that could be like upsetting you, or like maybe it's not something that I willingly knew, but like maybe I triggered you and you're upset about something, and wow, you probably don't even want to hang out with, like it like everywhere. Now I don't know how often the average person overthinks when they have anxiety. Given that I have ADHD, I know that my overthinking gets pretty severe, but I do know that you can be a big overthinker when you have anxiety, and it sucks. Now I ain't no sufferer of the social anxiety, but one of my anxiety traits, symptoms, whatever you want to call it, that I have is in big groups. For example, this morning we went to the gym and it was packed. Now me and my sweet girls go to the gym early. We get there about 7:45 in the morning if it's a good day and everybody's up and around in time. So why do I get to the gym so early, you might ask? Anxiety. I have found that time in the morning, the little area that I am forced to be confined to work out in because I bring my kids along, it's the only place that's like kid friendly in the gym, is very dead that time in the morning. And because of good old anxiety, I really need that seclusion to work out. I've worked out in busy gym settings, I've worked out in dead gym settings, and I much prefer working out when the gym is dead. Because anxiety. Don't want people watching me. I don't want the anxiety of other people's kids. There's too much. And so I just really like to work out by myself. We go to the gym early in the morning, and this morning there was a crap ton of people. And I mean, I'm like, get your workout on, like get her done. Like, but like, could you pick a different time? Because the thing is, I come to the gym at this time because none of y'all are here. And now all of a sudden today, Monday, like of all days, you're all here. And so I find myself getting very annoyed, like borderline angry at these strangers who are perfectly lovely people just there trying to work out. Well, except for those who don't watch their kids, and then their kids are being brats and they just are so in their own world that they're not watching their own kids. Those people I have like a genuine problem with. These other people are just lovelies trying to like get their sweat on and like, you know? And I'm over here like Miss Grumpy Gills because you're here. Like, it doesn't like make sense. And that's one of the things that is due to anxiety, because in my head I've found that the times that I get the most grumpy or the most angry is the majority of the time, not all the time, but the majority of the time when it's random, it's because I'm feeling anxious. And anger and like emotions are kind of like a safety thing. Like it just, that's how it comes out, you know? And a lot of times big groups of people trigger that. Driving to the grocery store, the parking lot's full, instantly irritated or instantly annoyed or instantly actually angry because I'm like, what are you doing here? Like, go shop somewhere else. Is that logical? Like, no. It's the anxiety, like, you're all here, that means I have to go amongst you all, and that opens me up to having the possibility of embarrassing myself, or you're all gonna see that I'm not wearing makeup today, or you're all gonna see that I'm wearing makeup today and I suck at makeup and it's blotchy and I look disgusting, or like it just opens up a world of possibilities and chances for my anxiety to be just triggered. So many times when I see big groups of people, it definitely upsets me. Again, I don't have social anxiety. I don't think I do. Because I'll get up and I'll speak in front of people and it's very nerve-wracking, but I'll do that. And I like talking to new people. I have no problem approaching someone new and saying like, hey, my name is Shayna, what's up? But like, I don't like big groups. Like I just, and Stella's begun snoring, so that's probably about my cue to stop this video because I don't know how well her voice is carrying her voice. Oh, there she be, there she be. See that thing that looks like roadkill? There she is, Stella. Is she actually dead? Oh, no. Whew. Oh, I didn't mean to startle you. So that's just a few ways that anxiety manifests itself in me that aren't really something that people may think about when they think of anxiety. The next time that you're talking with a friend or someone and you think, there's no way they could have anxiety or depression or something like that. Just remember that a lot of mental health issues in particular don't always manifest themselves in the ways that you may think or that movies and TV shows portray them. I think everybody now, especially after the death of Robin Williams, everybody's very aware of like the saying that like some of the most depressed or suffering people are the ones always smiling and trying to cheer other people up, and there's definitely a lot of truth in that. Anxiety doesn't always look how you think it's gonna look. I guess that's the point of this video. I'm living proof. Oh no. Oh no. Did this really not focus properly the whole time? I do not want a repeat of the last time I did one of these. Oh no. Okay, still don't have an outro. Wish I did, but I don't. Makeup's looking a hot mess today as per usual. And again, if you come here for a makeup guru, you're in the wrong place. Oh, I'm just a hot mess who's being honest about her hot messness, in the hopes that people who are also a hot mess can relate, and in the hopes that people who aren't educated on those of us who can be a hot mess could become more educated and more empathetic and compassionate about those who are suffering or who are just a little different than you are, because life isn't always suffering. How's that for an outro? That's a good one right there. All right, Stella, let's blow this popsicle stand.